Hey button pushers, my name is Nick and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. And we are once again going back to the last straw, and this time we are getting the good ending with Sophia. So I know I need to go through and see the revolt through with her. That's fine, I'm completely okay with that. That means we can arm the last straw as well, which is good. My one concern is I need to have 20 scheming if I want this to play out the way I need it to play out. So I am going to just have to push for scheming to go up during peacetime, and hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully I can do it. But let's find out. So back to the start of peacetime we go. So currently I'm on 16 scheming, so I only need to push it up by 4, which really, considering the length of peacetime, shouldn't be an issue. But who the hell knows with this game? So first off, with Homecoming, I'm going to just have a chat with Nathan, level him up a little bit, and leave Gloria and Stefan where they are. Okay, so to get the last straw's riot, I need to have grown close to Sophia, which is fine, and Unrest needs to be between 9 and 10, which is fine. So a lot of the stuff we did is going to be the same as in the last episode, so we're going to blitz through most things. I just really need to get scheming up. First of all, with first steps, we're going to hire rebels for the last straw. Well, we're not the last straw yet. With the print shop, we're going to hire rebels for the print shop. The last straw is admittedly a much catchier name. For reception at the Brante residence, I'm going to purchase a family portrait because I want to try and unite the family this time, so I need to remember not to join the secret plot with Gloria, which will upset her at the time, but for the greater good. So yeah, we're on 7 unity at the moment, which is not bad. Rock and a hard place, I will appeal to Nathan. Nathan can just sort out the mess. That'll bump her unity up to an 8. The last straw, so with Philippe coming down to chastise me and Sophia for the way we've been recruiting members, I am going to side with Sophia, because I don't need to side with Philippe. Why would I ever want to side with Philippe? Philippe is the worst. No scheming yet, though. Heart's on fire, so when it comes to recruiting the poets, I am going to recruit the poets. Because again, Unrest goes up and Spy Network goes down. A gift for the family, we're just going to have to sell the jewels because no other option. That knocks down unity a little bit, but +2 wealth. Concerned citizens, so our meeting with Mayor Egmont about our secret plot. It's going to keep the conversation a secret. I don't need to put Mayor Egmont in danger just yet, so it's fine. He's going to inevitably end up dead by the time the revolt starts, but for now, we'll keep him on side. An old friend, I am going to have dinner with Thomas, because it will knock our reputation down a little bit, but I will take having 20 willpower. That makes the reputation loss very much worth it. My family may disagree, but yeah, I don't see them doing anything to help themselves. Why is nothing giving me scheming? Okay, so the gunpowder plot, I can steal the gunpowder, which Valorant knocks down willpower, or I can make a deal with Mayor Egmont. I may as well just make a deal with Mayor Egmont like we did before, so ask him very nicely if we can have some gunpowder. I'm still not going to give it to Sophia because I'm pretty sure I need it for arming the last straw. Call of the Ancestors, I am going to side with Father, obviously. Because yet again, nothing gave me scheming. With each event that happens that I don't get scheming, I get more worried. We're getting a little bit of scheming, which is exactly what we did before. So the Errors of Youth, we are going to help Gustav escape the cities. Gustav is a member of the Lotless, and so he's come here, and we need to get him out of here before he tells people that I was involved with the Lotless and it didn't end well. So we will get him the hell out of here. It'll cost the family some money, but it's fine. So we're on 17 scheming now. 3 more. Look how much time there is left to go. Surely I can get 3 scheming out of all of that time. Powder keg. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to give Sophia the gunpowder because I'm pretty sure I need to have the gunpowder in order to arm the last straw. So I'm keeping it. She's not going to like it, but too bad. We're still on a 4 with Sophia though, so it's absolutely fine. A chat with the magistrate, I am just going to agree with El Vermin, kind of the same as Mayor Egmont. I have no intention of actually seeing this storyline through, but I may as well agree. Gets my reputation up a little bit, so why not? Brothers in Misery, I'm going to ask Father for help, so a little bit of hit on reputation and unity, but it's fine. Freedom of speech, I am going to print Father Mark's book, so that'll boost unrest and theology. I mean, I needed scheming to do this, so giving me some scheming as reward would have been nice. Bastards. Last wave, I'm just going to incite a full-fledged riot again, so this will kill me, but I do get some scheming out of it, and unrest goes up to 8, which is good. So, Stefan gets the pleasure of stabbing me to death. Okay, 18 scheming. 18's gaming. Here we go. Here's my chance to build some up that I didn't do before. So, a sound of thunder. Philippe's come along because he's real pissed about the state of the spy network. I'm going to promise quick results, which is going to put my unrest down to 6. It ups my spy network to 4, but I get some scheming. Now, you will use all the last straw's resources to gather the information Philippe needs, which is fine. I'll take it, because I should be able to rebuild unrest pretty easily. You assure the advisor that this will never happen again. You'll use all the resources of the secret society to gather valuable information and recruit informants. The results will be presented to Sir Philippe in a matter of days. For your sake, Brante, I hope that turns out to be true. This is your last chance. If you fail to provide me with interesting information very soon, I will conclude that your service and your life are of no further use to me. Philippe rises and nods to his men. On his way out, he whispers something in Oliver's ear, then leaves the print shop with the others. You and Moss remain inside. The thug smiles amicably. I've been instructed to observe your progress, Niklaus. You don't want to disappoint Sir Advisor again, do you, boss? You spend the next few days and sleepless nights gathering information for Philippe. The only way to do this quickly is to sacrifice part of the last straw. You were planning to use these people to keep tabs on unrest in the city, but now, unbeknownst to them, they have become new threads in your spy network. Before long, new reports land on the advisor's desk. Leaders of political salons, members of the Commoners' Party and the Lesser Quorum, noblemen who are critical of the authorities, they all find themselves under Philippe El Ferro's keen eye. Many of them are promptly arrested by the secret chancellery. Some are exiled, others are to be executed for plotting a rebellion. They're all friends, colleagues, and relatives of Last Straw members. Your society is consumed by desperation and panic. I don't want to believe it, but there's no other explanation. There's a mole in the Last Straw. We need to find the traitor. You nod. Sooner or later, the mole will give himself away. Yeesh. Okay, one more. I'm pretty sure last playthrough I had 19 going into the Revolt, so hopefully just following the same path we should be good this time, but I'm not going to risk it. The sooner I can get to 20, the sooner I can relax. The Festival of the Silver Tree, I will appeal to Mother to get Gloria to behave herself, so that puts her unity back at 8, which is nice. An invitation to dinner. Mayor Egmonton, Augustine Elborn are coming to the Brante residence for dinner, and Sophia wants to come along so she can interject and steer the conversation so the common folk get something out of it, and that's just what's going to happen. And that gets my unrest back up to 7, that puts unity on 9, and I get 5 willpower. So all in all, not a bad evening. The Illegitimate Girl. I need to not help Gloria. So this is going to put the unity at 10, and I get plus 5 willpower. Nice. And Gloria goes down by 2, but that's okay. And it means that we do not have a secret plot with Gloria, which means we can unite the family. I hope. You refused your sister. The world doesn't work the way she would like it to. She's a commoner and an illegitimate child. Why pointlessly revolt against it? Gloria's demanding too much from Sir Robert. Adopting Gloria as his daughter would be too dangerous. The Brante family's position is precarious enough as it is. You would not scheme to pressure your father or Stefan into this. Every word you utter makes Gloria flinch as though she was struck by a lash. Her empty eyes wander around the room, avoiding yours. I shouldn't have opened my heart to you. This is my predicament and mine alone. Good night, brother. You go back to your bedroom, craving the oblivion of sleep, but you keep tossing and turning relentlessly. Will your words compel Gloria to give up on her plan? No. I would wager. I don't know if I've ever had 10 unity before, you know. Surely I would have done. A moment of respite. Your work for the day is finally done. You hurry to the family home where peace and tranquility dwell again at last. Still, you've grown used to the idea that this peace could be disturbed at any moment. As you enter, Father walks down the stairs to greet you. He smiles, happily and warmly. Niklaus, my dear son, you're spending so much time at work. Look, you can barely stand. You need some rest. Please, stay at home with us for a while. I definitely have had this before, but we're going to finish it because it's lovely. Surely your work can wait. You've earned yourself a moment of respite. You consider his words for a moment and agree. Overjoyed, Father takes your hand and leads you into the sitting room. You spend several days resting in the family home where your troubles are distant and your family is close. They tell you their news. You carefully share yours. You spend the evenings together on the porch, just like the good old days, listening to Father's stories of your family's history, sharing laughter over memories of childhood. It's late now. Cicadas buzz quietly in the garden. The windows of the bedrooms glow with warm light. You recline in a wicker chair with a glass of good wine. There's no place like home. Nice. Oh, well, that was delightful. Okay, I'm gonna have to be a bit of a penis here, so getting even. Sophia's asked us to help with the whole Anizotte situation and trying to get him disgraced, which we did last time and it was great. However, if I refuse and have Sophia shadowed, it does up the spy network. I mean, everything ups the spy network. But this does put my scheming on 20, so I think I'm going to do it. It knocks me down to 4 with Sophia, which is fine. Asking her to explain herself. Anizotte being dishonoured doesn't actually do anything. He's still there in the Revolt, so it doesn't change anything in that respect. So I'm going to refuse and have Sophia shadow, which we've done in the past. So as it says, we refuse, have her watch. We don't learn anything, but it makes us a little bit kind of dubious about what she's up to. So we are now maxed out on scheming, which is good. I can relax a little bit. I just need unrest to be boosted a little bit more. And the hard goodbye, Sophia's been summoned away by Philippe Elfero, and she's going to be gone a while, so I'm going to confess my love for her. She knocks down my willpower to 20, but me and Sophia grow close, and our relation goes back up to 5, which is all good. This is precisely what we needed to happen. The Legion in the city, with the unrest being as it is, the Legion have come into the city to protect the nobles, so I'm going to incite the common people against them, which is going to put my unrest up to 8, which is good because then it means it just needs to go up by 1 more point. So good. Sound and Fury. With the commoners now adequately incited against the Legion, Philippe's ordered us to kind of quell the people a little bit because they're getting a little bit out of hand and he's getting a little bit uncomfortable about it. We're going to take control of the disturbances, which upsettingly gets me scheming, so I could have actually helped Sophia before, but it's fine. There's no harm, no foul. So this puts unrest at 10, Spy Network goes down to 3, and my wealth goes down to 5, but it's all good. Nice, so everything is exactly where it needs to be. Usual suspects. Philippe summoned me to a meeting and he claims that he knows what I've done. He knows that I've betrayed him, which he doesn't. He's fishing for information, which he's not going to get from me. I'm going to deny my guilt, which knocks my willpower down to 10. Literally every option I had there knocked my willpower down by 10. An urgent deal. Father Lennart's come to see us because he wants help printing off a bunch of leaflets that will summon new faith patrons on the anniversary of Patriarch Photis's death. So I'm going to fulfill his request, which knocks the Spy Network down to 1, knocks my reputation down to 1 as well, but that's fine. I'm planning on uniting the family, which is going to kill any reputation that's left over, so it's not the end of the world. Speaking of having no reputation, the Mark of Dishonour. Unity's still at a 9, so we're good. A dangerous haul. Father Fuad's come along and told us about a shipment they've intercepted, and turns out to be a shipment of rifles. So we are going to seize the guns for ourselves and arm the Last Straw. With the gunpowder, you can use these weapons to arm a squad of the Last Straw members personally loyal to you. This means Merrickman's going to get arrested, but he should have been more careful. These firearms are incredibly valuable. They ought to be put to good use. You tell Fuad to find you a wagon of your own so you can hide the crate somewhere safe. And the gendarmes, they're patrolling the city. They'll be sure to search us if they see us. Let a leader take care of it. A few carefully orchestrated street brawls along your route ought to distract the gendarmes long enough for you to pass. Got it. A few hours later, you reach your safe house. You hide the crate of guns under some sackcloth in the same cave where you keep your gunpowder. With weapons like these, your loyal men will be transformed into a powerful army. But for now, you have to keep them a secret. You return to the print shop at dawn, tired and aching after a sleepless night. Moss is waiting for you in your office when you arrive. Tired, Brante? Well, no rest for the wicked. Sir Philippe wants to meet you in the Archduke's garden in an hour. Don't be late. He ain't in the best of moods. Philippe seldom, if ever, meets with anyone in person. You nod to Moss and send him away, trying to keep your hands from shaking. Sand scrapes beneath your heels. The shade from the trees in the city garden provides barely any respite from the beating sun. There's no one here. Sir Philippe awaits you on a little bench at the far end of the garden path. The advisor is surrounded by a flock of birds. Muttering softly, Philippe feeds them tiny scraps of bread from a small loaf. You take a seat next to him. When Philippe finally speaks to you, you're surprised to hear sincere, friendly warmth in his voice. But you know, Niklaus, life has taught me an important lesson. When somebody does their job and does it well, that's worthy of respect. It's a shame that doesn't apply to you. You tamp down the rising panic. You cautiously ask what you've done to disappoint Sir Philippe. Mayor Egmont tried to spark an armed uprising right under your nose, you see. His men have been smuggling firearms into the city. He was hoping to arm his miners and send them off to demand justice. Were you aware of this, Brante? The friendly warmth in his voice is gone. No, you were not, you tell him, trying to keep your voice steady. Not in the slightest. Philippe seems to believe you. He sneers at your reply. I know you weren't, but it's your job to be, Brante. You are the ringleader of every riot in the city, are you not? But you didn't catch this, Brante. Egmont would have slipped through our fingers if the gendarmes hadn't reacted in time, and then the twins alone know what he would have done. But now we own Egmont head to toe, thank the twins. I interrogated him myself. When he realized what we were accusing him of, he didn't even try to hide it. He gave up all his men as soon as I pressed the issue. They've been smuggling guns here for several months now, all the way from Illyria. They are stashed all across the city. Even Egmont doesn't know where they all are. It won't be easy for my agents to find them all. Even the crate the smugglers brought here last night has disappeared. So you and the last draw need to keep an eye out for those guns. Got it? You avert your gaze and nod. Egmont will hang as soon as our revolt begins. Don't disappoint me again unless you want to swing next to him, Brante. You're only alive as long as you're useful. He stands up, throws the bread on the ground, and leaves. Birds in front of the bench tear into the loaf, ripping it to pieces as the sound of Philippe's cane fades away into the distance. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you watch them. The advisor suspected nothing. But now you have even more questions than before. Mayor Egmont is a bold man, but smuggling guns into the city? That's too much, even for him. Someone must have put the old man up to it, and that someone is almost certainly dangerous. You need to stay on your guard. Okay. Achievement! So the last draw now have guns. I have an achievement. Happy days. Deathbed. We can unite the family. Good. That puts our unity back up to 10 and my willpower at 15. And the family's at peace. And Gloria gets to become a Brante. So hopefully she'll actually have a good ending this time. Repentance, I'm going to call Mother to stop Nathan, so that gets my willpower up to 20. Unity's already maxed out, and Eloquence goes up to 7. Nathan becomes hopeful. Not a bad outcome. A family matter, we are going to preserve the family. Obviously. The greater good. Sophia's comes to the print shop and said, hey, it's time I'm honest with you. This whole thing with Philippe, it's not going his way. We're going to start a real revolt, and it's going to be crazy. Are you in? So I'm obviously going to agree, because then, secret plot, I will be with her until the end. Try and talk her out of it, then she dislikes me. But I'm going to agree, obviously, because this is what we need to do. So yes, we will be with her side, and we will enter the revolt as lovers. And then I'm going to be in charge, and then we are going to have a happy ending. A sleepless night. So this is satisfying. And because we're following Sophia into the revolt, we get to murder Philippe, and it's so much fun. He gets murdered, and he is the first victim of the People's Court. We declare that he's going to die a true death at our hands, and he does. He dies, and he does not come back. And me and Sophia become lovers, and the revolt gets underway. Philippe Elfero, dead. Sophia, lover. Well, minus. Okay, so the revolt is now fully on the way. Mayor Egmont has died a true death. Remiel Vermin has died a true death. And things have just gone all over the place. And the last straw has risen. Okay, so everything should be good now for the cornered beast. I should be able to take control of the revolt. I just need to make sure I do everything else I need to get the peaceful ending, which is always the issue. The revolt begins. After 8 years of careful plotting, the streets of Anizotte are ablaze with the flame of rebellion. Philippe's scheme to use a fake uprising to strengthen his own position has birthed a genuine revolt. Alas, the advisor is not here to witness it. Sophia executed him without mercy. Mayor Egmont is also dead, and his supporters have joined the last straw. Sophia is planning to take over Anizotte, and she has no intention of negotiating with the Overseer. Harsh and merciless, she believes that freedom can only be taken by force. Her revolt will inevitably destroy the Empire. Disgruntled citizens are rising up all over the city. The last straw's revolt has led the masses to wage a desperate struggle for their rights. It cannot be stopped anymore. Despite the growing chaos, you have no fear. After all these years, you are finally free. And soon, your city will be free as well. I hope so. In the family, I think we're just going to get them to stay in the city. With Sweet Nathan, well, normally I would have walked away without giving him an answer at this stage, but I already have maximum willpower, so... Oh. The only other options I have are for him to be consumed by despair. So I think I will walk away without giving him an answer. I don't want him to be consumed by despair. Sweet little Nathan. Mustering the forces, I'm going to assemble a squad of loyal rebels. So that puts my revolt to 6, which is where it needs to be, and troops only actually needs to be a 1, so having this on a 3 is possibly a good thing, especially when it comes to saving my family later on. Ooh, 2 arms. This is a new one. The time has come. A long and arduous day looms before you. You'll need all the support you can get. It's time to distribute your stash of guns and gunpowder to those you can truly trust. You guide your loyal last straw comrades to a secret warehouse. They dig into the contents enthusiastically, arming themselves with guns and hanging pouches of bullets from their belts. You are now in command of a squad of loyal commoners. Today, they will help you reach your goal. Oof, so I'm maxed out on troops. Unnecessary, but still pretty cool. Here we go, a cornered beast. All this stress for nothing. I didn't need scheming to be at 20, I needed manipulation to be at 20. God damn it, I need scheming to be at 20 for this though, for getting rid of Sophia, which I have a feeling I need to do at some point, which means she's a captive of Doris Otten. Which obviously we're not doing yet. So we're going to stop Sophia, which knocks the revolt down to 5, which isn't great, but it's okay, we can easily build that back up. Willpower down by 5, which is cool. Sophia is hopeful. Sophia's wrath will be the death of your entire cause and herself as well. You rescue Sophia from the ambush, hoping you can talk some sense into her and take control of the rebellion. Yes. Achievement! I thought I wasn't going to get that till the end of the game. You give your orders quietly. Ready your weapons, be quiet, and follow me. We must rescue Sophia and her people. The rage of battle and the deafening rumble of gunfire render the noble riders blind and deaf to your approach. You bring your squad closer, waiting for the perfect moment to take them by surprise. Sophia and her rebels fight with all their might, but the riders keep pushing. The ring around them becomes smaller and smaller. Squad, attack. Our cause is just. Sophia, we're coming! Death the tyrants! Steel grinding against steel, clouds of acrid smoke, the stench of blood, horses neighing in terror. You used to walk to Sir Tibor's school along this very street, but now it's the site of a terrible battle. To find Sophia in the chaotic skirmish, you follow the flashes of magical yellow light. One by one, the riders fall from their saddles, paralysed by her spell. Sophia's sepia eyes burn with rage. Come here, Otten. I'll show you what your servant can do. Driven by blinding rage, the desperate woman faces the armed and armoured riders on her own. You finally make your way to her side. Sophia! Niklaus, finally! I thought they got you! Come on, let's cross them together. You scream over the top of the skirmish. No. This is a battle you cannot win. You have to abandon the captives. You have to get out of this trap right now. Sophia takes a moment to catch her breath and return to her senses. The furious yellow light in her eyes dies down. Her loyal fighters form a shield around her, blocking another assault by Otten's riders. Reinforcements on horseback are already heading your way from the Silver District. You grab Sophia by the elbow. Your voice hoarse, you scream an order at the rebels. Retreat! You withdraw from the square down narrow back streets and alleyways under the cover of gunfire. The riders quickly lose track of you. Only Otten's screams of rage reach your ears now. Just wait till I get my hands on you, you filthy slut. You'd better thank the twins I have more important matters to attend to. In a quiet space surrounded by several houses with boarded up doors and windows, Sophia's rebels take a moment to lick their wounds. They join your men. Armed with guns and explosives, they will make a formidable force. While everyone recovers, you wander away to find Sophia. She's sitting on the doorstep of an abandoned house, far from the rest of you. Her eyes are trained on her own reflection in a muddy window across from her. She tries to stuff tobacco into her pipe with trembling hands. Most of it ends up on her lap. I almost ruined everything, Niklaus. If it weren't for you, Otten tried to turn our own men against us. You told him I was crazy. Couldn't let him keep lying like that. You put a hand on her shoulder. Sophia looks up at you, surprised. You ask her to hear you out and not get angry. This has nothing to do with Otten or his schemes. Sophia has lost her purpose. She's fighting without a true goal. The one emotion that keeps her going is the pain the world has caused her. All she cares about is revenge and destruction. But what's she going to leave behind once the old world has been destroyed? Sophia leaps to her feet, enraged. She throws her pipe to the ground. What? You quoting Otten to me, Niklaus? You think I'm crazy and ruthless too? Yes. You followed me yourself. You know as well as I do that nothing's ever going to change until we wreck the old world completely. We have to do it, even if it means destroying everything we care about. You patiently wait for her outburst to end. When Sophia calms down, you offer her hand in a peaceful gesture. You care about her. You will not sacrifice her. What will she do? Sophia begins to tremble, at a loss for words. Keep talking. The world made by the twins is merciless. There is so much suffering, so much injustice, so much wretchedness. But there's more than that. Your loyal comrades in arms, good, honest people who just want a better life. People who hope for change, and the feelings you and Sophia share. Is she really ready to destroy it all? Tears are running down Sophia's cheeks. It's the only way I know, Niklaus. This world has shown me time and time again that destruction is all it deserves. You take Sophia by the hand. She squeezes yours so hard it hurts. And you tell her, no. The two of you have come so far. You're fighting for so much. You will not let it all burn away in the flames of a ruthless war. Sophia hesitates. Her trembling fingers cling to your hand. I can't even trust myself. There's no way out for us. It's all my fault. You pull Sophia closer so that her head rests on your chest and start whispering. She's done the impossible. After all the centuries of humility and suffering, she has taught the people to rise up and fight against their masters. Sophia is their leader, their guide, and she has to guide them towards a new world rather than ruin and death. She smiles weakly and rises. All I can do is destroy. You'll have to be the one to do all the building, Niklaus. I'll step aside, help you however I can. I know you'll do it right. You're going to lead the people from now on. The tears on her face have dried now. She summons the rebels to you in the commanding voice they expect from her. Bronte's the leader of the revolt now. You know he's loyal to our cause. Trust him, and he'll lead you all to victory and a new life. Her hand comes to rest on your shoulder. You raise a fist skyward. The last straw rebels lift their muskets and shout your name. They will follow you to the end. Sophia pulls you aside. That's enough talk for now. We've still got plenty of enemies in this city. I hear Upton and his militia have just moved out to the prefecture. They want to execute Elborn and his judges for treason. There's a lot of people by the prefecture. We need them on our side. Who knows? Maybe even Elborn will join us. You should head there. I'll start gathering people in Empire Square. We've got to unite every single rebel in the city if we want to fend off the Legion. Before you leave, Sophia squeezes your hand once more. You better come back to me alive, Niklaus. The people of Anizotte need you, and so do I. You squeeze her hand in return, and then part ways. Sophia and her most loyal rebels leave for Empire Square. Your next stop is the prefecture. Okay, I'm in charge. Now to not fuck it up. The prefecture under siege. With Doris Otten putting the prefecture under siege, I'm going to rouse the mob and encourage them to defend the precinct, which puts the power at 3, which is good. Revolt goes up to 7, which is good. Troops is already maxed out. I need other things to be raised, not just troops. And then Elborn becomes a rebel. So, let's do it. Okay, and with the March of the New Faith, I'm going to save the New Believers from bloodshed, which puts my Revolt at 8 and Clergy at 1. Clergy's my biggest concern at the moment, because Clergy needs to be at a 3. And at the moment it's a 0. Which is not good. If I walk away, it does nothing good. So I'm going to save the New Believers from bloodshed. Father Leonard's going to be defeated. Jen's going to die. Clergy and nobles is my biggest problem at the moment. As the rebel leader, we've gone to Empire Square after the clash with the faiths. So now we're going to take control of the revolt, which revolt goes up to 9. Troops is maxed out. Common folk goes to 3, which is perfect. So how am I with clergy and nobles? Okay, yeah. So clergy... God. So clergy needs to go up by 2, nobles needs to go up by 1. That is my biggest concern at the moment. Alright, we're going to take control of the revolt. You make your way through the crowd and reach the Chancery stairs. Your silhouette seems to blaze in the light of the setting sun. You raise a clenched fist in the air, demanding silence. Your voice booming, you make your proclamation. Sophia is no longer the leader of the revolt. I, Niklaus Brante, lead you now. The people freeze in astonishment when you hear this. A murmur of discontent spreads throughout the crowded square. Who does this Brante guy think he is? We follow Sophia, not you. The discontent grows, but you refuse to relent. Sophia was leading our city to destruction, slaughter, and death. Had she remained in charge, it would have meant suffering for us all. You're gathered here not to revel in revenge or destruction. For the first time in history, you have what it takes to lay the foundation of a new world. A world where justice is the same for all. Where all estates are equal, where we are free from the lots. You will defend this city. You'll fend off the Legion. You will persevere and show the Empire that you are a force to be reckoned with. And once they finally realise they have no choice but to reckon with you, they will reckon with all the commoners of the Empire. You end your speech, exhausted and hoarse. The murmur fades away. All fear and uncertainty is gone. The thousands of people in the square are no longer suspicious of you. They're hopeful once more. You can see it in their eyes. Then come the first shouts. "Lead us, Brante! We're right behind you! Brante! Niklaus Brante!" Soon everyone is shouting your name. Even the old guard of the last straw, who have always been loyal to Sophia, cannot help but accept your leadership. Artisans, merchants, peasants from the outskirts of Anizotte, they all take up arms and join the ranks of the last straw. A report soon arrives from the scouts at the gate. The Legion is only a few hours away. The final battle is drawing near. Will the outcome of the revolt be decided in combat, or is there a peaceful solution? It all depends on the actions you take in the coming hours. So I am officially in charge of the revolt now, and Sophia is alive. Good. So how am I going to save the family? Cool, I can call in the troops, because that will knock down revolt to 8, which is still fine. Troops only actually needs to be a 1, so that's good too. Perfect. Everybody lives, and everybody's happy. I use the term happy loosely, but you get the point. And in the final hour, I'm going to go and see Elborn, which will put the nobles exactly where we need them to be, which is great. But I'm still down 2 on clergy, which is just a big problem, because I've had no option to increase clergy. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Defeat the Legion, defend the city, die for the revolt. Okay, so achieving peace would have been nice. Oh, clergy only needed to be 2. Ugh. Right, I'm just going to run back through this quickly and just see if there was any opportunity to increase clergy. If not, we'll be back here in a moment. We're back here again. So, from what I can tell, this path where I've taken over the revolt peacefully, there's no way to achieve peace. The only way to get clergy up to the point it needs to be is to overthrow Sophia. And obviously I can't do that unless she's leading the revolt, so we're just going to go ahead and defeat the Legion. Muskets in hand, the soldiers on the walls freeze in anticipation, awaiting your decision. For the last time, you consider the consequences. The fate of Anizotte depends on your reply. You cast a glance over the imposing ranks of your rebel troops. Every last commoner has sided with the revolt. You know your answer. From atop the city gate, you proclaim that the Overseer no longer has any subjects in this city. From this day forth, Anizotte is free. Hundreds of allies roar in support behind you. "We're no servants of yours anymore. Get lost." The herald silently retreats to the Legion formation. There's a brief moment of quiet. Holding your breath, you watch the menacing enemy army. Finally, the silence is broken by a drum roll and the stamping of thousands of feet. The Legion is about to attack. To arms. While your soldiers are preparing to face the Legion assault, you consider your plan to defend your position. You swiftly give orders to the squads on the wall, as though placing toy soldiers. The fortress of Anizotte has withstood many an assault. These stone walls saw many battles before the foundation of the Empire. The Legion, on the other hand, rushed here equipped with nothing but jerry-rigged siege ladders. Gaius Tempus needs to pacify this city this very night. Therefore, his soldiers will try to make their way over the wall, open the gate from the inside, and let the main forces in. Legion, attack! The Overseer sends his first battalions at the walls closest to the gate. The Archaean remains with his elite cavalry, observing the assault from afar. You order the gunmen to take cover behind the Merlins. The rest of the soldiers need to throw back the siege ladders, no matter the cost. Not a single legionnaire can be allowed to scale the wall. From atop the gate, you watch intently as the ranks of the Legion begin the assault. When the time is right, you order your gunmen to fire. The first ranks of Legion soldiers are felled by rebel muskets. Most of their bodies glow dimly and turn to ash, but some remain where they lay. Legion veterans who have met their fourth and true death. The gunfire is followed by a volley of stones and arrows. The wave hits the wall and recedes. The first attempt to storm the walls has been thwarted. The rebels jeer at the retreating Legion soldiers, but you urge them to stay alert. This was just the beginning. Take the wall. Come on, men, they're just commoners. They don't stand a chance against you. The Legion begins its second attack. This time, Gaius Tempus sends 2 battalions of heavy infantry at the wall to the left of the gate. They're followed by archers. Not even gunshots can stop this attack. The ladders fly up. A hail of arrows pelt your positions. Hold the line. The defenders on the walls attempt to throw the ladders back, hurling stones at their assailants and pouring boiling oil on them. But the onslaught is too strong. One by one, the Legion soldiers begin to leap from the ladders and onto the city walls. If you falter now, all is lost. You gather your best men and send them against the Legion soldiers. The walls erupt into bloody mayhem. All over the walls, the bodies of fallen fade into brilliant flashes of light. You and your soldiers desperately hack, shoot, and hurl enemies from the walls. The siege ladders fall to the ground below. The attack has been repelled. Twice more, Gaius Tempus orders his troops to attack the wall. Twice more the walls are stained with blood, twice more your soldiers withstand the onslaught. The dawn is drawing near. Even from your position on the wall you see the Legion soldiers slowly, hesitantly regrouping for their next attack. Desperate, the Overseer himself steps forward to address his demoralised troops. Are you really afraid of some commoners who can barely hold a weapon? Don't fear them, you fools. Fear the wrath of your Emperor. Fear the wrath of the Tempests. It is your sacred duty to re-establish Imperial rule in Anizotte. The city will fall, and its pathetic rebellion will be crushed. Go forth. I will lead the charge myself. The Overseer raises his ancient sword high above his head. The Legion soldiers shudder. No member of the royal family has taken up arms in centuries. The first rays of the rising sun appear on the horizon, breaking through the grey storm clouds. Led by its royal commander, the Legion begins its decisive attack. Ragged, covered in blood, barely able to stand, you get the surviving soldiers back on their feet and order them to defend the city one last time. Not even the twins themselves could get through this gate. But the time for speeches has passed. Now there is only smoke, blood, and the clanking of swords. All you can do now is fight and win. You see the Imperial banner flutter before you. The Legion soldiers are scaling the wall. The Overseer himself first among them. It's now or never. You and your men rush towards the banner. You will capture Gaius Tempest. Sensing that victory is close at hand, your warriors use their last ounce of strength to break through to the enemy commander. The Legionnaires try to form a defensive ring around the Overseer, but the enraged rebels dash them aside like toy soldiers. Gaius Tempest is surrounded. Wielding his sword masterfully, he slays one rebel after another, but eventually the overwhelming onslaught forces him to drop his blade. The Archnean nobleman freezes, seemingly unable to believe that this is really happening. The Imperial banner falls from the wall behind him. The Legion soldiers abandon their ladders and flee. You have won. The surviving defenders on the wall lean against the Merlins, exhausted, or simply collapse. Down by the gates you hear triumphant shouts. Like a wave they roll further, over the streets and squares, over the entire city. Victory! Anizotte has won its freedom. Escorted by your loyal allies, you approach your prisoner. Overseer Gaius Tempest glares at you icily. There is genuine bitterness in his voice. Madman, you have doomed your city. It will be destroyed. I was not your enemy until you forced me to send my army against you. One step at a time, I would have changed this province. I would have made your lives better. But now the entire force of the Empire is about to come crashing down on you. The punishment for your insolence will be terrible indeed. You remind the Archnean that he, the Overseer of Margaret and the brother of the Emperor himself, is currently your hostage. The authorities will have no choice but to negotiate with you, and as long as Anizotte remains free, news of your victory will spread throughout the Empire. Other cities will rise up in rebellion throughout Margaret. And then what? Do you want the entire world at war? What will become of the Empire after your revolt? You look back at your city, lit by the rising dawn of a new day. You tell your former ruler that the Empire is about to change, and whatever that change might entail, it will be better than the old order. Better than never-ending injustice, tyranny, and cruelty. The days for the old regime have ended. You will find your own way to the new world, along with all the people of the Empire. Gaius Tempest turns away, refusing to dignify your speech with a response. You order your men to take him away. Finally, you lean against the wall and take a deep breath. Is it over? No. A new era begins today. You look back at the years gone by, all the difficult decisions you had to make, all the actions that helped you take your place in history. You are Nicolaus Brante, the man who brought victory to the Anizotte Revolt. Your destiny has been fulfilled. Whew. Okay, so it wasn't peace, but still quite a good ending. Outcome of the revolt. You took command of Anizotte and routed the Legion. The rebels celebrated. For the first time in history, the Imperial army was powerless against the will of the common people. Now Anizotte would become a free city ruled by its people, where all estates would be equal. The rebellious city would have been crushed by the Empire's superior forces had it not been for your eminent hostage, Gaius Tempest, the Overseer of Margaret and the Emperor's own brother. Many in the Emperor's court were furious. They urged His Majesty Uther II to drown Anizotte in blood and crush the rebellion with no hopes of parley. But the Emperor could not see his brother die, so he never gave the order to besiege the city. The negotiations for Gaius Tempest's life and freedom took quite some time. As they drew out, the news of the revolt reached even the most remote provinces. More and more towns and villages learned from the lessons of Anizotte. Their cities began to arm themselves and join the revolt. The Imperial army began a frantic campaign to douse the flames of unrest, but it was all in vain. The legion suffered defeat after defeat. The powerful nobles eventually grew vexed with the emperor and his dynasty, and power struggles broke out in the capital. Then a shocking event shook the empire to its core. Emperor Uther II was found dead in his palace, never to be reborn. His heirs, Gerion and Flavius, both disappeared without a trace. With no one to take the throne, the noble dynasties accused one another of plotting against the Tempest's rule. Feuds and internecine strife became commonplace. Meanwhile, the rebellion only grew stronger. Soon, the banners of the revolt could be seen even in the most remote corners of the empire. The lands that won freedom from noble tyranny and the lots formed a defensive alliance called the League of Equals. But the old rulers were loath to see their power slip through their fingers. More and more soldiers gathered beneath the banners of the old Archnean dynasties. The empire has been split in half. War is coming. Regardless of the outcome, the world will never be the same again. Right, let's see what everyone's up to, shall we? Really, I just want to see what Sophia's up to. That's what's most important to me right now. Sophia! Sophia's intimate relationship with you helped her avert the destructive campaign she was about to wage and find a place for herself in the new world. Sophia fought furiously for Anizotte's freedom until the very end. For the rest of her life, she remained loyally by your side and supported you in everything you did. And when the time came to build a new order and fight for it, you did it together. But when the fight was over, Sophia had won much more than mere freedom. For the first time in years, the agonising pain in the back of her mind was gone. After the horrors of her youth, the hatred in her heart was replaced by something different. Sophia is remembered as a woman who fought fiercely for the good of the common folk and your most stalwart ally. Nice. Good. Very happy with that. Father became a judge again. Lydia did not enjoy the new order of things. She never understood why I did what I did. Classic Lydia. Stefan couldn't accept that the rebellion had won, and he moved to the capital to start a military career. I would say because he's Stefan, and he does a lot of that. He got himself in trouble. Thankfully, because Father was still alive, he could help Stefan get out of the sticky situation, and Stefan capitalised on that to improve his own career, and he became the Supreme Commander of the Imperial Legion. Go, Stefan. Gloria. She regretted not being able to help the revolts, and she dedicated her life to educating the common folk and uniting the city during the dawn of its new age. We have seen this before, that's good. So Gloria got to fulfill her purpose in life, helping other people. She was the first poet of the common folk and the harbinger of a new age, which is good for her. And Nathan became renowned in the new faith as a new faith preacher. So yeah, this is pretty much a good ending for everyone, apart from Gregor, but who cares about Gregor? How about me? You were elected by the people to the Council of Anizotte, along with the other leaders of the revolt. It was a heavy burden to bear, but it was necessary in order to overcome the city's challenges on the path to building a new society. And so you devoted the rest of your life to preserving the freedoms you had won and building a new and just order in Anizotte. You became the voice of the revolt, a man who took his vision of a new way of life and relentlessly carried it throughout the empire. Thanks to you, more cities and provinces soon joined the battle for change. Your exceptional path through life made you living proof that any commoner can shape their future with their own actions and change the world, no matter what might stand in their way. You began this path in chains, bound by the secret chancellery, but you earned freedom, not just for yourself, but for others as well. You're remembered as the liberator of Anizotte and the harbinger of a new age. So ends the life and suffering of Nicolaus Brante, a man who is about to go to the peak of the pillar. I'd be happy in saying that was a pretty successful run. We had 2 achievements we wanted to get, we got 2 achievements. We didn't necessarily get the peaceful ending, but we got a good ending. And we got the happy ending with Sophia, so I am going to take that. I'm marking that one off as great success. So we have 8 achievements left to get, and my plan for the next episode, I am going to tick off 2 of them. So we're going in the complete opposite direction next time. I am going to swear complete allegiance to Philippe. So I need to not make a deal with Elverman or Mayor Egmont. I need to get Spy Network all the way up, and I need to carry out Philippe's plan and earn myself a pardon. I'm also wondering if for the Empire I can get as well, because I think that what that could be is getting the Empire ending as part of the lot let's run through. I don't know if that's right. We'll give it a try because we're gonna need to end it, so we'll see what happens. But that's the plan for next time. But I'm happy with how this one's turned out. It went pretty well. So, If you want to check this out for yourself, then the link to the game page is in the description. As always, if there's anything you want to see or anything you think I've missed, then leave me a comment. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then why don't you go ahead and the like button, the long-awaited peaceful ending that is the subscribe button, make sure you that bad boy. And until next time, love you, bye.